Hi everyone, it's Ayesha from godfm, and today I want to talk about the nano that they're putting in my water. For example, I know they're putting nano in my water, and I'm not crazy, I'm not imagining it. Basically, nano is so tiny that you can't see it, but this stuff can construct in your bodies. We know it's in the food, and we know it's in the water and in the air. And this is a problem. And I want to talk about the fact that today I thought, I've had enough of knowing that there's nano in my water. Someone's intercepted the water. And basically, it's really hard to prove it. If I want to prove it, I'd have to go to a laboratory and ask them to look at the water, and then I'd be at the mercy of them not being intercepted. I've been looking at telescopes and microscopes, for nanoparticles. And what I've discovered is that for me to find out if there's nanoparticles in my water, I'll have to buy the equipment, which is, £50,000 for a telescope, for a microscope. Because it has to be a very specific one. And for me, I find this really frustrating. Because I thought to myself, you know what I'd love to do? I'd love to set up a little shop in the main high street and call it God's Inspectorate. Number one, we would go through your phone and we would look and check if it had Pegasus on it. And then we'd ask you for water samples and food samples from your home, of your milk and products, and check what's inside your food and your water. And then we'd check for Pegasus, and then we'd put a report together for you, and then you could prosecute the people who are interfering with your water, or the people who are not making sure that water's clean of nano. So, from my point of view, I just feel so frustrated because they've made it so hard for these crimes to be exposed. I mean, what do I do? Shall I go to the police and say, oh, hi, I've thought of doing a report. And I thought, well, I'll do a report and I shall, write down in my report that somebody is putting nano in my water, which is then constructing inside me, so that these people have got control of my anatomy and my mind. And they're using this nano to construct around my body, to form an antenna, so that they have control of my body, and they use these nanoparticles to torture me in my body. And it's very specific to me. So and there's home invasions, of course, and there's the hacking and the stalking and all the other things. But I want to remind anyone who's listening, I've already warned the government of Israel. You are to back off. You have no authority in my life. I promise you, I'm going to come for you and I will destroy you. I might just be a little Ayesha, a nobody, but I serve God and I'm a child of God. And if it so be, then God will make it so. Because this is unacceptable. I want my land. I don't want to be encaged or enslaved or have my mind read or have my mind terraformed by you. Thank you. Evil people. You're definitely not the children of God. You're the children of the devil. But I just wanted to talk about this. If you're a targeted individual, the crimes that are being committed against us are committed using nanoparticles, which, in order for you to prove it, you need resources that warrant big bucks. And so this is why they get away with it. This is why they can pay off the neighbors, because they're getting such a kick out of it, but also they've got endless resources, and they know that there's no way that you're going to be able to prove this. So, like I say, what we need is we need a God's inspectorate. We do. To provide those services for everyday people, actually. So they could walk in off the high street and have some tests on their phones, and somebody could come and inspect their property, scan it for nano particles, and seriously go through for fingerprints as well to find out who's been coming in the property, and linking up what devices have been connected to the house and what devices in the vicinity for spoofing Wi-Fis and electronic equipment. This is what we really need for this to stop. I have already got a lot of evidence that who's doing this, and but I want to be able to help the other targeted individuals. You see, the trouble is the police deny that this technology exists, and they deny that Pegasus is being used against everyday people, just for speaking the truth. I mean, for example, a man can have sex with a child, 6-7 years old, and marry her and kill her in that process and not go to jail. But you can't buy cigarettes unless you've got your driving license or passport to prove you're over 18. But children can have children, and that's the other thing I find interesting. You can't buy cigarettes or alcohol, and I mean, you can go and vandalize people's cars on the main road and no one will stop you. No one will do anything. You won't get prosecuted, by the way, because the police won't do anything. But they're putting up cameras everywhere to monitor us and track us and follow us. And they're integrating all of the grid system, and they're terraforming us, basically, with all the data farms, which are going to take precedent over humans for water. And these data centers are massive. Who gave consent? I didn't. I don't consent. I don't want my mind terraformed into a data center, thank you. And I don't consent to someone putting nano in my water, and I don't consent to nano going in my drains, and I don't consent to people putting things around my home specific to me. And I'm coming for you people. I'm very tired of it. I am very tired of it. And so, the same with any social media. If you post something about the data farms or the stalking, or the fact that they come and cut up your underwear, or that they cut up your clothes, or they swap your clothes for bigger socks, like I've already proved, or they swap your sheets for small sheets, or they actually come and put marks on the sheets. I will show you some more photos of sheets that are new, and they're covered in brown stains. I was a bit embarrassed to actually do photos of it. And these stains won't come out, and I promise you I didn't poo the bed or anything. They're actually quite new sheets, and I bought them from TK Maxx because it was a deep fill fitted mattress that I needed, so I had to go to TK Maxx to get it. So I know when I bought it. I think I bought it about 6 months ago, so it is quite new. I have 2 that I use, and so I rotate them around, and I've had a lot going on, and it has sat in the washing basket for some time. I have some other ones which I use, but they're not the right size for the deep fitted sheets. And I use those if I have to. But because it's all connected with the washing machine, I haven't really used that one. It's just been in the washing basket. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I know they're connecting everything through the water pipes. And the stuff goes into my clothes. I don't have problems when I buy second-hand clothes from the charity shop, so I wear those. It's actually become a problem to wash my clothes in my own home because of NANO in my water. But if you post anything on TikTok or one of these platforms, you get community guidelines, violations, and you can't talk about these things. And for me, I'm really tired of it. I've got somebody who's taken over my electricity and intercepted my water supply, my gas supply, my drains. They have cloned my phones, and they have attempted to take me over and steal my soul. That's how serious the crime it is. And no one will look at it. And I'm not joking around. This is serious. And I mean, just because people don't understand this technology, that this can happen, doesn't mean it can't happen, and it is happening. I'm not making this stuff up. I think this is why all the scientists were killed. If you think about it, if they discovered what I've discovered, then they've basically ensured that these people are not alive anymore. These highly specialized doctors who can tell you what kills certain things, or kills NANO, that is a problem. If you look at it, then those people have been killed off. So what we're left with is everyday people without the resources to prove that these crimes are being committed. And I will endeavor to find a way to magnify to show the NANO using what I've got. I believe I can still do it, even though I don't have the right equipment. I believe the equipment I have, I can adapt using my laser technology, sound, and my lenses that I've got. So this is what I'm going to do. And with Pegasus, again, to scan for it, you can get it onto a computer and then do it onto a phone. So I'm going to look at doing that as well. And then going forward with my evidence that there's Pegasus on my devices and that I've got NANO in my water. And then I'll look at different ways that I'll be able to offer assistance to other targeted individuals. But first I'm going to try with me. Because there's nothing we can really do, right? If we can't stop them intercepting our water and prosecute them, they're never going to stop this, right? You've got to ask yourself, why is everyone else okay? Because they're not being, their water's not intercepted. I promise you it's the water. I know it with all my heart. And also, obviously, we've got the home invasions. And so it's just too many crimes, I think, to just sort of let it slip by. And what really gets on my nerves is that it's conducted in such a way that it makes people out to be crazy when they're victims of this. You know, like yesterday, I was outside this theatre, and it was a cinema, and the guy said, "Oh, is this place open?" And I said, "Well, actually, I don't know." I said, "I think it's more Christian theatre now." Anyway, he said, "Oh, boring." I said, "Oh, is God boring, is he?" I said, he's not boring. And he went, oh, well, they have actually got some other things on. They got Alien, and they got this, and they got stuff about the dinosaurs and all this. Jurassic Park. And I was like, yeah. I said, most of those stories are from the Bible anyway. And he went, no, they're not. I said, oh, yes, they are. Anyway, I said, they used to just be a Christian cinema, and he kept chattering away. I said, and by the way, I'm a preacher for God, and I'm a targeted individual. And he ran across the road, and he couldn't run fast enough. And I thought he was going to get hit by a car because he went across the road. And I just thought to myself, because I said to him, well, most of this town is devil worshippers. So I found anyway. And I said, well, I'm a preacher of God. And then, as I say, he ran across the road like he was frightened of me or something. Anyway, I said, well, good luck with your vaccines and your data farms, being terraformed and having your mind stolen and put into the metaverse then. And I think he got a bus somewhere. But yeah, that's why I found people are just so blasé, and they don't really believe in God. But anyway, the other thing I want to talk about is the coughing. Have you noticed the people coughing and they're not well? Like, if you're a targeted individual, and the neighbors have been doing this too, when they can't do stuff to you, they become very unwell. They start coughing and all this. And you know what I think it is? I think it's the spike protein, and it's their way of transmitting it. If you think about it, the nano and everything in us makes us unwell. And it therefore would make sense that something about us being switched off from it makes them unwell, because they're Bluetooth, and they're connecting to you through Bluetooth, if they're vaccinated, of course, or if they're in some way connected, because they're part of this the system, if you like, of what's evil. I don't know, but it's shedding, isn't it? So apparently when they've had their doodah injection, then they shed. And I wonder if they shed at different points, because they don't have to be very close to you to shed. That's the other thing. So that would be a really interesting study by a scientist, wouldn't it? To see the effects after the vaccine, when they're unwell, when they're coughing, to see what the state of their blood is, and to have some proper doctors really look at this. Wouldn't it be interesting? Anyway, I just wanted to talk about my thoughts on the matter. It's very frustrating, isn't it? I think. But I don't have all the answers. All I can say is that if the child-eating, blood-drinking psychopaths want to stalk you and follow you and break into your home and hack you and do home invasions and electronically rape you, then there's no police force or government or doctors or scientists who are going to assist us in proving the crimes that are being committed. And I'd like to form a consortium of some kind to be able to verify this information and bring it to whatever authorities I need to hold to them account for everything that they're doing. That's what I'm thinking. It makes me very angry. But they're not just doing it to people, they're doing it to the plants and to the birds and also to our pets and to the cows. They're killing off for the cows. They're not building new cemeteries. So the bones and whatever are ground up for fertilizer, and the meat goes back into the food chain. Even if people are buried, then the meat is taken. from the bodies and put into the food chain. Check it out for yourself if you don't believe me. So, the world is not what we thought it was. And a lot of this is mold as well. It's connected with mold, connected with EMF and frequencies. I just don't know what the answers are, but my life has changed and I want to try and help the others. I just actually want to help humanity so that we don't get terror farmed. Because I actually care what happens to us. I can't believe this is happening. But like I say, because I know I've got God with me, I plead the blood of Jesus over anyone who comes against me or anyone that's related to me, my family, as in the 12 tribes of Israel, as in Israel, the real children of God. And I've had enough of this nonsense. One way or another, you're going to go down. And if I'm the one who takes you down, then all the better. I pray the Lord will give the ability for me to do this. That's what I pray. All right. I'm just about to have some bacon and eggs and toast for breakfast. And I hope you're all keeping well. Have a lovely day. God bless you.